welcome to the fall of 2024, everybody. This is our town hall. Our purpose of our town hall is just to share high-level things and updates for the whole community. And then we also provide an opportunity to answer any questions that we may have. So if you have a question, there's a question answer button on the bottom, so you can enter that. We'll either type the answer back or talk about it, depending on how broad the question is, if we can answer it individually or whether we answer it with the whole group. So everything this fall is looking pretty good for 4-H Alberta. We're hearing a lot of clubs that are very full, or maybe even on the edge of overfull this year, which is a good sign to everybody. And we're pretty excited for this year. We've got a lot of stuff going on. So with our update, we're going to go over the pledge, and then I've already kind of almost done the welcome. And then once Sherry joins, we'll be going over insurance approvals and activity plans and incident reports. And then Bianca's going to provide an update for the area coordinators and the fund development. And then we've got Tracy on here to do a provincial programming update. And then something that's kind of new to us that we're going to be presenting is with Lori, a longtime club leader, is going to talk about the intro club and what they're up to. We had a few questions about them. People are learning a little bit more about that pilot project that we've started. So we're going to go over that. Again, if anyone has any questions, feel free to click on the question answer box and type it in, and our team of panelists will answer it as best we can. Okay, so first I'm going to start with the pledge, and I guess I'll do it because I'm the one talking right now. So I pledge my head to clearer thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, my health to better living for my club, my community, my country, and my world. Okay, with that, I'm going to just take a quick look and see if Sherry's on the panel, or if she's joined at all here. Doesn't look like it. So I am going to we're gonna go. I guess I could actually do most of the insurance stuff. And before we start, I always say the same thing. We have about 3,000 volunteers. There's only 20 staff, over about 6,000 members across Alberta, and there's a lot going on. So without our volunteers, there is no 4-H. There's no ability to serve this many kids on such an individual basis. So thank you so much for everything you do to support 4-H, the movement across Alberta. We have grown now for 2 years. It looks like we may even grow again this year. And that's the first time since the 1990s. So, we have some good momentum, and we have a lot of volunteers, which makes out to be in about 1 volunteer for every 3 members across Alberta, which is pretty impressive when you think about it, and you think of a lot of volunteer organizations. So can't really proceed without thanking people for that. I am going to jump out of the slide, and we're actually going to switch the order a little bit. I hope that's okay. I'm going to jump over to the area coordinator section, Bianca, and then we'll jump back. I'm just going to use a little bit of my time to try and figure out how to help Sherry here. So,
all right,
okay.
That sounds great.
Can you see this?
Well, I can.
Okay, good.
Okay. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. So on behalf of the area coordinators, I do have a few updates. So first of all, as you know, October 1st, club year started, so everybody is really excited. We are really busy. You may have heard about it, the new activity plan process. So it's just a general reminder that an activity plan has to be submitted for any high risk or overnight or interclub or beyond event to become a sanctioned 4-H event. And really that The only reason we have to do it is because of insurance purposes, which is why we wanted Sherry to present on insurance and activity plans. Leading into that, a Sanction 4H Alberta event then just means that, you will receive, once you have a sanction, you have submitted the activity plan, you get an activity plan permit. And we strongly recommend that the permit should be posted just to identify that this event has been sanctioned. And really, again, it's about the insurance. So we know the activity plan has been submitted, the event is sanctioned, which means insurance will actually take hold for anything that happens. Yeah, so then we can actually go over to the next slide, because kind of the last bullet point is really the same thing. Awards of Excellence, just a reminder, they can be submitted to your designated AC, and any member with Platinum Achievement requires the diary to be marked by an area coordinator. Just also a gentle reminder about the 5-member requirements, and any questions you can connect with your AC. The deadlines, now we're getting to deadlines. Deadline for district district approved documents to be a district in good standing for this year is November 1st. Club registrations closes on November 15th. And then finally, club fees are due December the 1st. So those are all the AC updates, but as always, you can reach out. You can reach out to your designated AC, or you can ask us any questions you may have. Do you want, I see a question in there, sorry. Oh, I think that's more for you, Kurt. Was the volunteer survey report published? That's in the Q&A. And if you're answering, we cannot hear you because you're still muted.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I can answer that when you're done presenting. And also, there have been, during our regional gathering, there were questions about the search function on our website not really functioning that well for search. So that has also been upgraded. So try out the new search, and if you have some issues, just reach out to us again. But that search function has been upgraded. Okay, back to you, Bianca.
Okay, so if there are no other questions or comments about the AC or the area coordinator update, I'll move over to fund development. It has been quite busy. We actually have a few new funders. So the first one would be the SCAP grant funding. That's in collaboration between the government of Alberta and the federal government. And they have granted us up to approximately $800,000 for programs like the Intro to 4-H, Senior Symposium, mental health components, and the egg safety and mental health program. That's going to carry us for about 4 to 5 years, depending on the program, so it doesn't all have the same timelines. And we are incredibly grateful, and we are really thrilled. The next one is the Calgary Foundation. That came in the summer, and it was also for the Intro to 4-H. So as you can tell, it had quite a bit of uptake, and part of it is because funders were really excited to see something that helps 4-H Alberta grow. And we can actually, I can actually talk a little bit more about that when we get further into the membership and other stats. But it's been really successful, and in combination with that, we're still getting funding for our traditional programs. Another new partner is TD Bank. So you may remember ATB being the Financial Confidence Program sponsor. They stepped away from it this spring, and now TD Bank is really thrilled, proud, and excited to take this up next year and in 2026. So you'll see some financial confidence workshops here in January, February, March. Secure Energy, they will launch the Secure Metals for Good program, and I'll talk a little bit more about it on the next slide. And then AltaGas is also a new sponsor, and they are proud to support the youth advocacy program, which is, at the end of the day, it's pretty much our screening and youth safety, just keeping everybody safe, getting the credit checks, not the credit checks, sorry, the police record checks and everything else. So we are really, really happy. We've received a lot of support, and it looks like there's going to be a few more funders coming in for next year as well. Which brings me over to my next slide, unless there are any questions right now, sorry.
None related to you yet.
Okay, perfect. So club fundraisers and membership opportunities. So knowing that it's a club year and everybody is trying to figure out, okay, how can we get the funding? What can we do to just get a little bit extra cash into our club funds? There's a few options that are currently already out and they're going to be out. So the first one that I mentioned is the Secure Medals for Good program. It's a scrap metal program. There is information on the website, on the Provincial Alberta website, and there it's kind of in the resource section. I think it's under club fundraisers, and it's a scrap metal program, and it's really amazing. They have it really well thought through, and it's cash. Once a month, Secure will send cash or will send a check out to participating clubs. There's an opportunity to sign up. Has to be in good standing, so you'll have to, we still have to cross-reference and double check. But it's a great new fundraising opportunity, and we're extremely proud. The AFSC grassroots funding is also already out and open. So you just go on the website, first come, first serve. It's open until December the 20th. And then also this year still, UFA will launch UFA funds for Alberta clubs and districts, and that will happen on November the 6th. Those are just all the applications that one can go through. On the next one, we have Save on Foods. Some regions, and we had sent emails to clubs that are in specific regions where there are Save on Food stores that will support in-store fundraisers. Some regions still have some spots open, so you may have to check your emails if you've received as a general leader email communication, or you can always reach out to development@4hab.com and ask us what Save on Food stores are still open. We have already filled some spots, but like I said, there's still some open. And there's a Halloween recipe contest, and the deadline is October 21st. And anybody interested can also submit information there. It's also on the website, I believe, or at least on social media. Financial assistance, it's the third year in a row that we're running it. And for anybody who may consider not joining 4-H Alberta as a program because they can't afford it, there is help, there's support. We've done it for 3 years, and it's really amazing and rewarding to see youth join that may otherwise not have the opportunity to join. And it's anonymous. We're not sharing this information with anyone, and it's a safe process. So if you have any questions, please reach out. And then co-op growing leaders. This has actually been exploding as a program. Last year, for the entire, I think, 2.5 months we ran this program, we had 209 submissions. Within the first 2.5, 3 weeks right now that this program is open, we already have 174 applications. That's 83% of last year's overall total. If you were to break down those numbers, of the 174, you have 37 members that are returning. They are second-year co-op growing leaders recipients. And you have 137 that are completely new, have never been in 4-H, never been to the program. And the only thing to consider is it's for anybody who has not had any previous experience or exposure to 4-H Alberta. So it doesn't include the Cleaver Kids experience. But, if you had no previous exposure, this is brand new to you, and, you just want to try it out and see how it fits, the Co-op Growing Leaders program is a great opportunity. There are 13 participating co-ops, and you can go and find the information online on the website, and there will be specific training areas for the participating co-ops as well. So those are all the fund development and the community or area coordinator updates.
Thanks, Bianca. And Bertha asked a question about, is the AFSC grant open to district council to apply for it?
It's really at the discretion of AFSC. You can definitely submit the application and see, if they accept it. It's grassroots funds, so it's kind of a broad, name for it. I would definitely apply for it and see what happens, but definitely UFA, once they open November 6th, they take in districts as well as clubs. So they have been pretty supportive. Yeah, that's, I guess, all there's about AFSC. And then there will be more funding coming up in the new year as well. So there's always a Fortis, there's always Altalink, there's always, and we're hoping it comes back, the RBC.
Okay.
But yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Amanda asked a question about the volunteer survey, so I'll answer that now. Thank you, Bianca. It sounds like things are going quite well around the funding side and with the plans for the ACs. So it's a good year.
We're really excited. Just so you know, we're really, really excited. And thank you so much again to everyone who is actually a volunteer who supports the membership, because we couldn't do it without you. And especially having this influx in membership, it's amazing. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Excellent. And I work with a lot of other nonprofits. The situation 4-H Alberta is not common around being heavily supported by sponsors and strongly funded. So it's a really good sign for our organization right now. So Amanda asked a question about the volunteer survey. So I can provide a quick update on here. I also see Christine, our board chair, is on this call today. So thanks for joining, Christine. But in the spring, the 4-H Alberta board was given the governance and operational recommendations for consideration for to move forward. And starting in this fall, they started working through that list of governance recommendations, and the staff team's working through the operational recommendations. But you are right, Amanda, we should give you we were going to send a report out to all the people who were involved in the volunteers workload assessment and the focus groups, because we got a lot of valuable feedback, and we're actually already operationally, I know we're already working on a lot of these things, and from a governance standpoint, a lot of the feedback's already being considered by the board. So it was good to get the feedback, and there will be a report in the next, I don't want to overpromise for Christine, but probably in the next month we'll be able to provide a high-level report of what's moving forward off of that volunteer workload recommendations. And then Lee asked a question regarding doing activity plans, but we'll let Sherry answer that now that she's on. So we're gonna let her present, and then she can also answer that question. Sherry, are you here? Thought I added her. Let's give me a sec. Oh, I thought I promoted you, Sherry. Just give me a sec. There, Sherry should be. Maybe not. I don't know what's going on with Sherry's presented many times in the past with these challenges, so I don't know. Technologies like that. Oh, there she is.
Mute. Okay, I'm here. I don't how to, where's my camera? There we go. There I am.
Okay, excellent. Glad you made it, Sherry.
Yeah, I am too. I was a little worried there.
Okay. So, Sherry, I'll do the slides for you and you can take it away.
Perfect. So I'm going to speak to you about the three things: insurance approvals, activity plans, and incident reports. As far as the insurance approvals go, there is a very limited list of things that 4-H clubs and groups cannot do. And this is the list. They cannot snowmobile, alpine ski, kickboxing or boxing, fireworks, gymnastics, lacrosse, rugby, snowboarding, tackle football, or trampolines. That's it. That's the only things that you cannot do. If you do want to do them, you can contact your area coordinator, I think is probably the best place to start. And they can help you to see about what it would cost to get that insured through 4-H Canada's program. So that's That's it. Anything else is open.
And then to that, Sherry, although every other activity is approved, we still require some additional information to actually make sure it's still insured.
Yes, because we need safety covered. We need to make sure that everybody is thinking about the safety of our members. And so that's the stipulation there.
Yeah.
Other things that are not covered by 4-H insurance is expenses related to travel, personal property belonging to staff, leaders, volunteers, youth members, project animals, and personal vehicle claims, including trailers. So those things are not covered by our 4-H insurance. So you need to make sure you've got your own liability policies or whatever to cover those things, because 4-H Canada insurance will not cover them.
Okay.
So activity plans and incident reports are still done on the same platform. It's Case IQ. Activity plans should be submitted 2 weeks before your event, so that there's time for approval. What I'm doing with that is I'm looking at the safety. I'm checking to make sure your supervisors are screened and trained. I am making sure that everything has been covered. And we do activity plans for interclub activities. So anything that involves more than one club, and anything that has overnight travel or high-risk activities. A high-risk activity would be, if you're signing a waiver to go axe throwing or something, that's considered a high-risk activity, and that needs an activity plan, even if it is the single club going.
Sherry, Kelly Boyd asked a good question related to this. She said, "Are we looking to? We are looking to restart bladesmithing project for 25-26. But the entire project be considered a high-risk activity?"
I think if you think it is, it is. I mean, I don't think there's a checklist for that, but I would suggest that you consider it high risk and do an activity plan. Whenever in doubt, just do an activity plan and we'll work through it. If I don't know something about it, I will check further, either up to 4-H Canada or with you, and we'll figure out what needs to be done for safety and how you can do it and make it work, because it sounds like a fun project.
And that kind of feeds into even if an activity is listed under it's not, it is an insured activity, the activity plan still has to show that it's being done safely. And that's the most important part. So for example, I have had questions that the use, like a shooting sport or something like that, it's not on the list of uninsured activities, but to ensure it's being done safely, we would require that it's being done in a registered facility that does that. So, no backyard gopher hunting, that would not be a past activity, but if it's done in a professional shooting range, that's a different situation. And that depends on the type of activity. The higher the risk, the more we're going to require on our activity plans to make sure they're done safely.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Case IQ, you can find it on the 4-H website, or 4HAB.com. It is the second bullet point under resources. That's the easiest way I know how to get you there. And it's just fill out the stuff as you go. Gather your information. If you've done an activity plan before, you probably know what to do, what you're needing. Basically, you're needing supervisors, you're needing venue information, you're needing safety information. Those are the kind of things that you can gather up in advance. I don't know if that's where I'm at yet, but if you log in to Case IQ and make yourself a login and a password, you can go back in if you've forgotten something. And if you get kicked out, you can go back in to find that activity plan and add to it in the files section. So it is worth it to do a login and get yourself a password and use it that way.
Sherry, Leah was asking earlier, she said the site seemed like it wasn't working last week. Was there any, are you aware of any challenges with Case IQ?
There's always some challenges with Case IQ. Oftentimes you get kicked out partway through you're taking too long or something. I've talked to 4-H Canada as much as I can about, can we lengthen the time? Can we, let us know when it's not working. So far, I don't get informed. I usually get informed by you folks that say, this isn't working for me right now. So keep your fingers crossed and hope for the best.
Okay,
I'm sorry, that's the
so,
best.
and Sherry, would you say if it's not working or they need to get approval to reach out to you?
Yeah, send me an email and we'll work it out, or call me. I'm at the 4-H center, so give me a call and we can work out something. I have had them emailed straight to me, and then I add them in myself, so we can make it work one way or the other, because I don't want you giving up on some fantastic project because you can't get into Case IQ and make it work.
Okay.
So once you submit, it comes to me and I review it and work on approving it, which is what I just said. We just work away at safety, supervisors, ratios, rule of 2. Those are the kind of things I'm looking at and specifically going through.
Okay. Bertha asked a question for you, Sherry. She said, why do we need an activity plan for a regional communication event when we don't know the members or the parents who is screened or who is not?
Well, if you get it into me, I can find out who's screened and who isn't, Bertha. I know we've talked communication lots and lots and lots, because it's not really a high risk event, but because it's multi-clubs, 4-H Canada is insistent that we do activity plans. So do your best. And like I said, I'll work with you right up till the date if I have to get it approved, so that you can have an approved activity plan going into those communication events.
Okay, excellent. Okay. Next.
Incident reports. There are 2 types of incident reports. The first one is an accident. So an accident is something that has happened that needs to be reported to insurance. The second one is a breach to the code of conduct. So it's on the same form. It's all the same kind of information, but there's 2 different purposes to it. Both reports come to me, and if it's an accident, I refer it to Teresa or to Kurt, who will get it to 4-H Canada, so that it can be, the insurance company can know that something's happening there. If it's a breach to the code of conduct, the first thing I try to do is contact whoever submitted that incident report. But if you don't put your email address into Case IQ, I can't do that, because I don't have your contact information. So I can't go back and say, what's happening? How did this happen? And pull more information from you. So if you don't have an email in the Case IQ system, which a lot are coming in right now without, then I just carry on and investigate it with the AC and whoever has been accused of this. And whoever has reported it won't even know what's going on, because I can't talk to you about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Email. Put an email into Case IQ so I can talk to you. If you don't want to talk to me, that's fine too. Don't put it in. But if you do want, some chance to have a conversation, then I need that email so that I can move forward with it. And get you the answers that you're looking for as well, right?
And we have had a lot of questions about why people don't hear about the results of these types of incident reports, and that's to protect everybody, because it's better for us just to handle it with the individuals involved and not get other people involved, because you never know what might be said or what might be done that might cause future issues. So that's why we don't send that feedback.
Mm-hmm. I will try to send, if I've got an email, I will try to send it that it's been resolved, so that you know that. But I can't really give you details about what had happened.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks, Sherry.
That's it for me.
Just seeing if there's any more questions for you here. Oh, no, looks like we're good. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sherry. Now we're gonna jump back down. Tracy's here to do a provincial programs update. So take it away, Tracy.
Hi, everybody. We have a lot of great things to tell you about. We can move to the next slide and we'll talk about our summer camps that happened over the summer. 600 summer camp participants and over 100 youth leaders, 4 sold out camps and record numbers across the province. The Northeast region had its largest numbers for a junior camp ever. We had 4 senior trips, 2 to the Northwest Territories, just because last year the one didn't go because of forest fires. 1 exchange with Ontario and the Ag Next Gen trip, which were all really fabulous and the kids had great experiences. We offered a new program, the Senior Summer Retreat, which was a huge hit. And so summer camps, just the next slide. We'd like to thank you for all the amazing summer and we hope to see you next year. Programs will be available to view in the new year and registration will open in February.
Excellent.
So on to the programs that we're working on right now. We're getting ready for this weekend's Fall Senior Symposium, which is going to be held at the Circle Square Ranch this weekend. Weather looks good, so it should be a really great weekend. Here's a picture of our Premier Award winner from 2024. Vanessa is from the East Central region. And this program is full, so we're pretty excited about that. And the new ambassadors will be announced at the program, and the Premier Award winner for 2025 will also be announced at this program. The next program we got coming up is the Alberta 4-H Provincial Equine Leaders Forum, November 15th to 17th at the 4-H Center. Join us for some great presenters that they have lined up and some networking with fellow leaders and just seeing what everybody else is doing in the equine project. Registration deadline is November 1st. However, if you want a sweatshirt or the apparel, deadline is tomorrow, so October 16th, but the final deadline is November 1st. The other things that we are offering this fall, similar to what we did last year, the project leader virtual project sessions, which are for leaders to join. We have 6 of those. The SALT leader one, where we talk about all the multi-clubs and just go through standards and talk about what that project is and just where resources are, and it's just a helpful thing for all the leaders. The beef one, equine sheep, the communication, where we answer communication questions, and then also the Cleaver Kids ones. So all sessions begin at 7:30. You can register on the ORS, but if you have parents or volunteers that want to join, they just have to go to the calendar on the website and they can click on the Zoom link that's there. Also, the other thing is we're always looking for chaperones or volunteers, and there is a Google form link. It's been in the last few scoops, and it is on the website, and we love to encourage leaders to chaperone or volunteer at some of our great programs that we have going on. The next slide, our provincial steer carcass competition for the fall for the next year. Registration deadline is December 1st. The new guidelines are on the website. Under the program, scroll to the bottom and the livestock section is there. We will also be offering the lamb carcass competition. It's of course just a little later weigh-in and a registration deadline. But it won't be as late as last year. So just if that's something you're interested in and you know that last year it was a little bit later, just be prepared that this year the registration deadline will be earlier. And in conclusion, we have the quick look guide for all our provincial programs coming up this fall or this year for 24-25. It is on the website and it is also in the Staples ePrint site, so that you can order these for your 4-H families and they can all have a copy. So yeah, that's what we got going on for programs. And like we said, for next summer, watch for those programs coming out in February. So
Excellent. Thank you very much, Tracy. Kelly did have a question. She said, are the leader webinars being recorded to rewatch?
They will be recorded. So if you want to watch it, I can send it to you, but I won't put them on the YouTube channel. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I don't see any other questions. Thank you, Tracy, for the program update. Okay, over to you, Lori.
Okay.
So, yeah, tell us what you're up to.
Well, thanks for having me on this evening. I'm actually really excited to talk to everybody about the 4-H intro clubs, and I am honored to be part of the pilot project and part of the team that's really trying to make this a successful program. So some of you may have heard about intro clubs, or you may have seen something in the scoop, but tonight I will actually explain the program, give you some examples and some details on how we include the traditional elements of 4-H into the intro clubs. And we'll flip through some slides showing some pictures from last year. And I'll end just letting you know how we're connecting these 4-H intro clubs to the big picture of 4-H, along with some of the impact we've had so far.
Excellent.
I'm going to switch the slides. So to begin, a quick explanation of what are the 4-H intro clubs. They are a short-term accessible program for 4-H youth, introduction to 4-H for youth that are ages 9 to 16. Each club has a limit of 8 to 15 members, and the goal of the club is really to give young people the chance to get a taste of 4-H without committing to the year-long program. So we know that not everybody is anxious to jump into something year-long, especially if they're not familiar. So the 6 weeks gives them a chance to see what it's like before they commit. Plus, 90% of our families honestly have never heard of 4-H, and or if they did, they think it's to do with cows or horses or sheep. So this is really a chance for them to learn how much more 4-H has to offer. And each club meets once a week for 2 hours. So this fall, we are offering Explore 4-H as the project in our intro clubs. And we have a club running in the Southeast on Tuesdays, which was today. And we have 2 more clubs starting on Wednesdays in the Northwest so far.
And that's in Calgary.
In Calgary, yeah.
Okay.
And next slide. So in the intro clubs, our goal is to really integrate traditional elements of 4-H. So even though the program is short, we are still wanting to provide the kids with those building blocks for success. Our goal really is to give them that taste of 4-H's structure, including how meetings are run, hands-on experience with project work, the importance of record keeping, community service, leadership roles. And at the same time, we want them to experience the fun, the community spirit, the core elements that make 4-H so successful. And we finish each club with an achievement day. So by the end of the 6 weeks, we really want the families and their kids to leave with that strong sense of what 4-H offers, so that they are equipped to make that informed decision. Do they want to be part of 4-H in the future or continue on a larger scale? So our first element, actually, I'm going to take you through the ways that we incorporate the different elements, because we do want our members to understand the requirements of being a member in a full-time club. So for meetings, throughout the 6 weeks, we teach members about meetings. They learn what an agenda is. They learn how to make a motion. We do the trail mix game, for example, to teach them. We run elections for president, vice president, and attendance recorder, so a little bit different. And we have rotating volunteers for the position of secretary and club reporter. We actually have the club reporter each week send us their write-up, and we post it on our social media accounts along with some pictures. In the meetings, we foster leadership because we ask them to make decisions together. Some decisions, they're not major like in the other traditional clubs, but they decide on what community service they're going to do or elements of our achievement day. And because the goal of our intro club is to educate the families, we also discuss the requirements, like I said, so that they understand at least they have an understanding of what a traditional club involves. So this includes completing a record book, teaching them about the pledge and what the 4-H's stand for.
We did have a quick question. Can you
Oh.
provide a real quick summary of what the trail mix game is?
Oh, we actually put it in, I think in one of the scoops, but you have the kids vote. So you have a selection of items in front of you, and you teach the kids how to make a motion properly. They have to make a motion, stand up, and I move to have pretzels in our trail mix. Then you have a seconder. Then they have discussion. Then they vote yay or nay. And then you keep on going. And when we have allergies, we have 2 separate bowls so we can make it work for anyone, but it really gets them involved. We usually set a time limit because we have too many items and not enough time. We will also sometimes throw in something you do not want in your trail mix, and we will make a motion so that they actually defeat it. So
Perfect. That's awesome.
So next slide is about projects. So I thought I would give you kind of an example of one of the projects. We focus on Explore 4-H because not only does it introduce members to a variety of projects that are available, but it also allows us the flexibility in the program where we can just slide in different things depending on the season or availability of different elements. So each week they will have a hands-on workshop that's 1 to 1.5 hours. And our aim is to duplicate each club so that we can run this program smoothly. We don't have to recreate the wheel. So our first meeting has always been fuel your fun. So healthy snacks and fitness. We discuss food sustainability by using an apple to show how much soil the earth has to grow food. So I don't know if you've seen this before, but there is a great link from Journey 2050. And the kids' reactions are amazing every time when they see the sliver left of what amount of topsoil there is to grow food in the world. So it helps a lot of discussion get started. And then for our healthy snack, we have apple cookies, which are actually cored apples cut in slices. And we have a variety of toppings. We talk about the different nutritional value, and then they have that as their snack. And we divide them into 2 groups, and one makes the oatmeal, it's interesting, oatmeal cookie smoothies, and then they swap. So that's the nutrition side. And when we do our smoothies, we actually do them most weeks. We have the kids read the recipe, we teach them how to measure, and then we actually have them evaluate it and make changes to the recipe in their record book, because we're always asking them to reflect back on each thing that they're learning and tasting and doing and letting them know they can make those changes. And the fitness part, you'll see the girl with the juggling bowl. We actually had a seed plant donate some wheat to us. We create juggling balls out of wheat and balloons, and they use them through the 6 weeks. So every time they show up to club, They take out their juggling balls and we have a different challenge for them to try. So we see where they're at by the end of the 6 weeks. And it's been really good. We've done this workshop all the way along. We've kind of tweaked it here and there, and it's run really smoothly. So the next slide will show some photos. Oh, back one. It's okay. Back one. It'll just show a few pictures from last year. We had a bee workshop. The kids made some seed bombs to grow plants that bees like. We had somebody come in for that. We did rustic signs, terrariums, computer science, felting, and we have that ability to change the workshops out. This fall, we have beekeeping, pottery, games, sourdough pizza. We actually took a lesson from 4-H Canada, one of their workshops in a box. And we're going to grind wheat, teach the kids about sourdough, why it's used, and how it can help with food sustainability, and then make pizza, sourdough pizza crust, and they get to eat it, which is the best part. So those are just some ideas this fall. We can go on. And record books. So we basically have our youth maintain a simple record book. They track what they learn, because reflecting is a key part of 4-H. For sure, they do not all complete it. It is not mandated, like it's not a requirement of membership like it is for 4-H, but we do explain it. We talk about it as a group so that they have ideas of what they could write in their book. We have the kids show us their books. They hand them in a couple times during the 6 weeks. And although it isn't a record book, I just wanted to share, we also incorporate another type of reflection, a mental health reflection. We have a question of the week posted every time when they walk in. So they take out their juggling balls and they're given a Post-it note. So as they're waiting for all their friends to arrive, they fill out their answer, stick it on the board, and then they do their juggling challenge. So I just wanted to share that as well. Community service, another requirement. We introduce giving back to the community. So it's not really, it doesn't work for us to go out and think of something we can do outside of the club. So we think of what we can do in our 6 weeks. So the kids get to brainstorm for a couple weeks and they vote on a community service project. So last year they chose things like donations to an animal shelter, packing brown bag lunches for the homeless shelter, collected bottles for donations to the mustard seed. They collected food for the food bank. I don't have exact numbers, but we donated bags of teddy bears for the teddy bear toss, as that you can see in the one picture. We had over 155 pounds of food for the food bank, 30 bagged lunches, and we did take 2 vehicle loads full of donations to the animal rescue shelter and about $81 in bottle donations for the mustard seed. So considering it's just, they bring everything on the achievement day, the last day, it's pretty good. So,
Okay, I'm gonna cut you off here just to ask you a few questions. I'm not
Oh,
cutting
sure.
you off. I'm just
No, that's fine. I'm not looking at the questions.
So Stella asked, what is the cost to families for the intro club
It is $120
per member?
per member for the 6 weeks. Yeah.
Okay. Megan said, I would love to see a video of how this trail mix works to share it with the members.
Okay.
As a new leader this year with a lot of new members, it would be a great thing to share and prepare the members. So
Okay.
that's some feedback, and I actually think that feedback, we're going to talk about that a little bit later.
So yeah, I don't know if anybody has my email, but I'm happy also to share a handout we have on it for now before there's a video available. So
yeah,
I could easily do that.
excellent. And then Amanda said, I love seeing the different activities you do in the intro clubs, and I'm hoping to incorporate some into my own clubs. Would it be possible to provide the contact information for some of the guest speakers or tours that you go on and some of that general information?
Absolutely. Send me an email.
Okay, and interesting enough, Amanda Lori is a volunteer club leader as well, and she's using stuff she's learning in the intro clubs, and she's testing it out in her main club.
Yeah.
So,
It's been good.
yeah.
It's been
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I am happy. I don't know if everybody can see my email if we share it, but Kurt can type it in, but I'm happy to
Yeah.
share
I
that
can,
for sure.
I can, or somebody can, maybe Bianca, if you could put her email in the chat to everybody.
Awesome.
I see the thumbs up. So, okay.
Yeah, I'll go on and then, yeah,
Okay.
keep asking questions for sure.
Okay. Next slide. Is that where you're at?
Yeah, next slide. Yeah.
Sorry.
So communication. So we know how important communications is for 4-H. In intro clubs, the members do not prepare their own 2 to 3 minute speech or presentation and give it. However, we incorporate it in every method we can, from reading recipes to doing the roll call questions. We have the members introduce guest speakers. Every time there's a guest speaker, a member will be the one who introduces them. And then we do have every member take part in our achievement day, as you see the line up there, saying a part to all the guests and families that have come. They will explain what we're doing for the day. They'll explain what 4-H is about. So they each have a part and they do practice that. So that's worked well. One little story is that I did have a member come up to me. The meeting before our last one, we hand out all the parts, we review them, we talk about what achievement day will look like. And the member came up to me after and she said, "Miss Lori, I am not doing that." Like, she was adamant. So, okay, like this is intro club, so it's okay. I did let the mom know and dad know that we'll be sending home her little part, but it's no pressure, no stress. Anyway, I don't know what they did, but she came back and she was the loudest and clearest and memorized her part in her lineup for the next week. And then that member actually joined the club I volunteer with this year, and I could hear her speak for her roll call across the whole entire hall. So I don't know, but it's quite interesting how her confidence increased. Okay, so next slide. Since I'm talking about our achievement day, the last hour of our last club is achievement celebration. So members arrive to the final meeting and we have an hour to work on preparations, which is also part of their final workshop. Sometimes it's a cupcake or cookie decorating that we're having for snacks, or sometimes we're dipping fruit, or we're making skewers. It just depends what we voted on and what the kids decided to do. So when it's time for our guests to arrive, the members actually meet them, bring them in. We have a table with any projects that they did over the 6 weeks. We have them bring them back and get it all set up. They show them how to juggle. We have them gather fun facts about the projects we did, and we'll put them around the room. And this fall, we're doing a chocolate theme where members are actually going to teach their families how the steps in judging and tasting chocolate. So there's that element of judging included in our program as well. And almost everybody loves chocolate. So we have run this before and it's been very successful with the families. And then we end with a presentation of certificates and a little bit of social time to enjoy the snacks. So you see the little girl holding the true and false. We always do true and false we'll ask about 10 questions and they sit with their families and they hold up true or false. And it's always to do with what we learned over the 6 weeks. So another fun idea.
Excellent. Okay.
And the next slide, I just was going to let you know a few ways we're trying to connect these members to the bigger picture. So beyond the traditional and core elements of 4-H, we want them to feel like they could be part of 4-H. So this year, they will have the ability to participate in a fall or a spring farm tour. They will be invited to a special 4-H on Parade tour. We will have the opportunity to participate in a couple different community service projects that are outside those 6 weeks if they choose to. And they're invited to attend provincial science days, 4-H camps. Last year, they were invited to some other clubs' open houses and achievement days if they were interested. So we're constantly trying to keep them connected, even if they're not in a club right away. And the impact. So I did want to share just some things from last year. We had 75 intro club members go through the program, 58 attendees for the 4-H on Parade tours in May. I did 3 parent presentations. We had such like families really appreciated the balance between structure and fun, and we were constantly hearing that same positive feedback, and many wanted to continue with 4-H. So that led to some parent presentations on how you could start a club. So approximately 50 families attended those, and now there is a new homeschool club started in the Northwest in Calgary area, and a new club started in the Southeast. So an interesting fact, the 3 parents who started the Northwest Club all had children participate in the intro clubs. And when they had their first meeting, I attended, and all 10 members knew me because they were all from different intro clubs, but they didn't all know themselves, so, or know each other. So that was quite neat to see everybody back from intro clubs. The Southeast Club that started, the parent actually saw my parent presentation, was really excited about 4-H, the program of 4-H, wanted to bring it to the South. He became a leader. There's 3 others that have become leaders. There's a few screen volunteers, and not one of them has any 4-H experience. It's quite amazing. They'd never seen a meeting, nothing. So they have been actively learning about it by attending other clubs, visiting them, the registration nights, trying to learn anything they can, and they're willing to learn to do by doing, which is our motto. Another kind of fun fact is this Tuesday club I'm doing right now, 2 of the members have been having so much fun. They joined the Mackenzie Town new club just because they wanted more right away, even though we weren't finished the intro club. So finally, there are intro club families that registered and joined the Prairie Winds 4-H Club, which is a club that I have volunteered for over 10 years. So it's been quite a influx in Calgary.
Excellent.
And I think the last slide, it's just what's next. Well, one thing I was going to say is there have been some inquiries to why this is a paid position, but while all of the things I tell you sound exciting, it comes with some challenges, and starting new clubs with families who do not know anything about 4-H means they're facing a really steep learning curve, and there's always the risk of losing clubs and members in the first year. So this is something I'm really mindful of, and I'm working to figure out. So as a current volunteer and a club leader myself, I do have a strong understanding, and I do appreciate those challenges firsthand. So can really work to find that balance or figure out what's missing so that it can be as easy as possible and they can have the best experiences possible. And yes, Kurt was right. I have been testing out different things that we do in intro clubs. How will this work in a traditional club? So we have actually been using many of the different elements, and so far so good. We're hitting, like, it works in both. So I think starting new clubs is a big thing, finding opportunities for all these intro club members to stay involved or find a club. I'm working with Immigrant Education to run a club for new Canadians, an intro club, I should say. We're refining the program to build a scalable and duplicatable model so that we can expand outside of Calgary. So that is the big picture. We absolutely want to do this and are working really hard to make this happen. So far, so good, because what we've just run has been smooth sailing, and I know that it could be duplicated. And we're using feedback to constantly improve, like anytime we can. So that is my
That's excellent.
deal.
And at the 60,000 foot view, you know, we're currently 1 in 3 new families that join 4-H stay. So the intro clubs allows us to do a lot of cycles of 4-H, what would be normally a full club year, and figure out what is it that they need to know to stay in 4-H for the long term. Because as everyone knows who runs a club, there's a lot of work with new members. So if we can find a way to introduce people, get them kind of soft start, then there's a much higher likelihood that they'll stick around.
And I'm really finding helping these new clubs to be beneficial. Like, this is a huge learning opportunity to have a club that knows nothing, a club that went through intro club, and seeing how it works to help them get started.
Yeah, it's been excellent. And I know Lori has a good background in marketing as well, but we've had many discussions on basic things like how do you market 4-H to people who have never even heard about it, this program, what is it? So we're hoping that all the lessons that are learned in running so many clubs in such a short period of time can provide a resource for leaders, and address a lot of the questions that even the leaders, some of our new leaders on this town hall have asked. We're hoping to be able to provide a scalable approach for everybody who's interested in starting 4-H and make it even smoother through the lessons learned here. And that's
And
why
that
Lori's,
idea, oh,
yeah,
sorry, I say the idea of webinar or like videos that you talked about
yeah,
are possible.
yeah. So we're really excited with the progress. There's clearly from Bianca's update, there's a lot of community support for 4-H trying to do some new things. So we're trying to support that as best we can while ensuring that we're still providing the support to all of our traditional programs. So that's why Lori's kind of working on it on her own, well, with me and the rest of the team, but she's not as involved in all of our other traditional programs as much. So that's been her pure focus, is how do we build this? How do we hand it off to people so that they can be successful bringing 4-H to new people? Thank you very much, Lori. Do you have anything else to add?
No, but
Okay.
I'm happy if there's any questions. So, and
Yeah.
yeah, send me emails. I'm happy to share what we're learning. Oh, watch the insights from intro clubs in the scoop. So we share things that have been super successful that we've tried even in traditional clubs. We share something each month. So, but
Excellent.
yeah.
That's excellent. Thank you very much, Lori. I don't see any questions, so you must have covered a lot there. And I did post Lori's, I did post her email. I sent it to everybody. And Carol says she can see the benefits for current leaders with new families to 4-H from this program. So that is Lori's main goal. I told Lori, by the end of this year, you got to be able to hand this out. You know, like that's the new focus. Because this will be the second year of doing intro clubs. The actual providing the program to the kids and being able to fill it, we've figured a lot of that out. So the next phase is how do we roll this out and support more leaders across Alberta. Okay, I don't see any other questions. And thank you everyone for attending, but I would also like to acknowledge our supporters, and we have a lot of them in 4-H. We're very fortunate that way. I was asked a lot of questions in the spring when I was attending events about how 4-H is doing with some of the news that was going around related to 4-H Canada, and I'm pleased to say we're doing quite well. And we have a lot of support across the province, and that support starts with the Alberta government, who provides Alberta 4-H 10 years, $1 million a year grant. And now if you throw the new funding that they've provided, they're showing that they're a big supporter of this 4-H movement across our province. We also have our Emerald Clover sponsors, and they step up big to help us across Alberta, and our Gold Clover sponsors as well. And then our silver sponsors. And some new names are on these lists, which Bianca did talk about, and which is excellent. And then our bronze clover sponsors, as well as our green and white clover sponsors. So thanks to all of our sponsors. We're able to provide these programs and provide a lot of frontline support to our community, which is excellent. And I'm really excited for this year. I think it's going to be a really good year for 4-H. Okay, I have waited and not seen any questions, so I'm going to end our town hall. I'd just like to thank everybody here for attending, and we will post this as well online for everybody to see if they weren't able to make it. So if you have people asking questions, feel free to let them know that we'll be sharing this recording as well. So thank you very much, and thank you to all the panelists for showing up. Sherry, Tracy, Lori, Bianca. Thank you very much.